Hey everybody, what you see here is an Ambassador 12-inch rotating grill box fan. And, well, if you've watched my channel for a while, this isn't the first Ambassador labeled product you've seen, nor is it the first rotating grill box fan you've seen. The Ambassador name was a store brand, I believe. I'm not sure for whom, but I think it was a store brand. I'm not entirely positive on that. It was a relabel. They relabeled all sorts of fans. Most notably, they relabeled Lasco, which I have an example of that right here, and I did make a video of this one a long time ago, so if you recognize this one, that's where it's from. However, this one is a fair bit older. It has the old-style Ambassador A logo with the uppercase sort of, just the regular manuscript A style font. This one has a more modern logo that is actually more often seen on the later Lasco labeled Ambassador desk fans. You may recognize that logo. And then of course up here we have the font, the Ambassador font there, the text. Really cool, like streamlined, very futuristic text. And now on top here, it says Super Deluxe 360-degree rotator fan. Well, that's interesting. Super Deluxe. That's a brand name you've probably heard before. And that's because that is actually, this fan is a rebrand of this one right here. Now this one, I have not taken a video of this one yet. This one needs some work. But it's together enough for a, like a compare and contrast between these two models. This one is made by Kuo-Horng, and Super Deluxe was I believe another, I'm not exactly sure what Super Deluxe was. I think it was just like a brand name of some sort that they used, and they relabeled a lot of fans under the Super Deluxe name. So you'll see a lot of desk fans on the tag on the bottom that say Super Deluxe desk fan, or like something like that, and they're all like imports. So this one's made by Kuo-Horng, and as you can see on the top here, it also says Super Deluxe 360-degree rotator fan. So they didn't change that part at all. The only thing they did was they added the Ambassador font there. Now this one is interesting because, well, it has the speed buttons right here for the speed controls, obviously, high, medium, and low. But then right here is the switch for the grill. It's just like the push button keys for the fan speed. So and they're not really like, they're like kind of like hybrid push button piano key type buttons. They're like you push them down, but like they don't like pivot down like this. So like it's kind of like a weird hybrid between the two. And you probably saw that when I pushed that button there, the grill kind of rotated a little bit. That's because this one has a weird quirk. When the fan is not powered, you can still run the grill. So that's kind of weird. So yeah, the grill will still spin when the fan is, if the motor is off. So that's kind of weird. And then of course it says there, do not use in a window, which I think is probably so that if the grill is on, it doesn't rotate itself like out of the window or something like that. But, yeah. Now, turn the fan around here to the back, and you can see that the back side of it does look kind of similar to like the Mistral Gyro Air. The backs of these rotating grill fans were very universal, very like standardized. They had almost the same design for all of them. And the blade in there is very unique. It's like almost like a miniature box fan blade. It is brown. Yeah, and then on the bottom here, this is where things get a little interesting. Well, first of all, here's the tag here, or the informations. It's upside down, of course, because of course it is. Whoa, okay, the informations, there we go. Model number, whoops, focus, 82424. Okay, 82424. Serial number, and distributed by Allied Stores Marketing Corporation, New York. I don't know if that's the brand that owned the Ambassador name, or if that was maybe like, I don't know, just the company that contracted these to be relabeled. I don't know. Does this one say Allied Stores? This one doesn't say anything. It would probably help if I had a newer Lasco relabeled Ambassador, or Ambassador relabeled Lasco. But here's where things get really interesting. Because this fan is a box fan, it doesn't really have a mechanism to like tilt it like a desk fan would, like tilt it up and down. So what they've done to compensate for that is they've put these little like extra feet in here that you can flip down like that. And that allows the fan to be tilted upward a little bit. So if you have it on the floor, you can point it upward. I think that's really cool. And then this one has that too, which I actually didn't even notice until I got this one, and I saw those under there, and I was like, huh, what are those for? And then I noticed this one had it too. But yeah, this one's actually labeled Kuo-Horng. Basically, between these two, the only real difference is the color scheme. That one's brown and that one's gray. I don't know what, how these two would differ in ages. I want to say this one may be a little bit older, and I don't know why. Probably because the brown always came forward with gray in like the Lasco timeline, so I don't know if other brands did that too, but you know. Another difference I did just notice is that the do not use in a window on this one is a sticker, and on this one it's molded into the plastic. So that's kind of interesting. The back of that one is the exact same, except it's a gray circle on the back. On this one, it's a brown circle. So I'm going to put these feet back, and then I'm going to stand the fan back up, and I'm going to turn it on for you guys. And before I start it up, I did want to see if I could show you guys the motor. It's a really weird motor. It's like all plastic. You can kind of see it in there. It's like an entire plastic frame, almost like those old Lasco motors. But it looks almost like the shape of a Samsung motor. So I have no idea who made that motor, but very interesting. That one has the same exact motor. In fact, you can see it a little bit better on this one, even though it's dirtier. But yeah, I did oil this one when I got it, so it's all lubed and cleaned and everything. So let's go ahead and start it up on high. It does have a pretty cool startup sound. Of course, this is with the grill off, which you can clearly see. This thing is actually quite powerful. Very cool. Pun intended, of course. Switch it down to medium. It has like a high-pitched motor whine. I find a lot of times these import motors have that high-pitched whine. And actually a lot of the Kuo-Horngs do, even like the desk fans. So it's probably just a trait for them. Alright, low. Very quiet on low. Although you get that soft whirring with the humming of the motor. Really cool. Alright, back up to high. And spin down. Okay, not a great spin down time. I don't know what the deal with that is, because it seems to spin pretty freely, but I don't know, that must just be the characteristic of the motor. Now, let's turn the grill on, start the grill rotating, and let's start the fan on low this time. And of course the grill is driven by a separate synchronous motor, which you probably figured out, because that allows it to spin on its own power. It's not a gear-driven system like in an oscillating fan, or in like the Mistral Gyro Air, which also has a gear reduction system. Okay, medium. And also because of that, the speed of the grill does not change when you change the speeds of the fan. I'm starting to really like the way these, like the breeze pattern of these rotating grill fans that they put out. I was never a real huge fan of these, again, pun intended, when I was like younger, but since I got like a few of them, I don't know, I've started to really like them. Turn it up to high. Alright, I'm going to turn it off. I'm not going to turn the grill off because it's got a cool feature. When you turn the fan speed off, watch this. It turned the grill off automatically. So that's pretty cool. There's like probably another extra mechanism that sticks into this switch to push that button up when you hit the off switch, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So, and then the last thing I wanted to do was compare this and these to the racks, which you saw in that video that I made a couple months ago. This is, of course, the European fan, and I'm pretty sure that these were like designed as like inspiration from these, probably from the Mistral Gyro Air, which was like what popularized these rotating grill fans, because that's the most notable one that I can think of. Of course, the recall also made them pretty notable, but yeah, very similar in design. They all have five blade sets, 3 speeds. The louver or the grill is controlled by a separate switch. The only difference is this one has that timer, which of course, you know, our fans typically don't have a timer on it, but that was just a European thing. But yeah, very, very similar in design, and the grill is pretty much the same exact design as well. So, I think that about does it for this video of this really cool old Ambassador Super Deluxe rotating grill box fan probably from the 80s. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next video.